Okay. So, hello everyone. This is your host, Ms. Neelam Thapa Magar, Research and Documentation Officer at NAXA Private Limited, and I hope you all are doing great. A very good morning and a warm welcome to our respected guest speaker, Marek, to the World Food Program WFP Nepal team, our organizers from NAXA, our mapping partners, Geomatics Engineering Society, and youth mappers, and to all our valued participants present in this virtual event today. So this is our first session on the guest lecture series, which we have prepared as a part of our remote mapping campaign for the project Trails and Community Infrastructure Mapping in Bajhang and Bajura districts of Sudur Paschim province in Nepal. So the project is being implemented by the WFP Nepal and with the technical support of NAXA. So we thank you all from the bottom of our heart for your participation today. We are excited about how it's gonna go, and we cannot wait to hear the stories or experiences on OSM and geodata management from our guest speaker himself in a few moments later. And I hope all our participants are as excited as we are uh, about our first guest lecture series today, and we hope for a very interactive session towards the end of this event. Now, talking about our remote mapping campaign, currently we are in the fourth week of this campaign, and we truly appreciate the time and contributions that our valued participants have been continuously giving, supporting, and doing the part in remotely mapping the features in both Bajhang and Bajra districts. We are also grateful to our guest speaker and all our participants, organizers, and partners for taking out the time from their busy schedule to attend this event today. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over to Uttamji, who is also the co-founder at NAXA, and he will be the moderator of this event. So Uttamji will be introducing all of us with our guest speaker today, and will also be continuing with the further presentations. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great session ahead. Uttamji, over to you.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Neelam. Namaste and good morning, everyone. I am Uttam Pudasaini. I am a geomatics engineer by education, and I am so excited to see my respected teachers and my colleagues from Department of Survey as well. So, Ganesh Bhatta sir, namaste and welcome to our session. Thank you for joining. So, we also have uh, to all the other participants, Mr. Ganesh Prasad Bhatta, he was the Director General of Survey Department, and right now he is the head at Land Management Training Center, which is the professional land management training center of Nepal. So before moving into the contents of my presentation, I would like to shortly introduce NOXA and the remote mapping campaign. And we also have Biplab sir and Srishti ji from World Food Program, who will be sharing with you about what the entire Mapathon event is and how this all started. So moving forward, let me start with a brief introduction of my company, NAXA. So NAXA is a company that we started back in 2014, and I kept this photo because the three people in this photo, we are the co-founder of NAXA. So back in 2014, we all graduated from Kathmandu University, and then we decided to start this company, NAXA, to digitize the surveying and mapping sector of Nepal. So I would like to mention NAXA as a intersection between the GIS and the IT industry, where the geoinformatics sector comes in, because NAXA is a location-based service provider company where we mainly develop GIS and mapping applications targeting different sectors. So back in 2014, when we started NAXA, we had the vision of digitizing the surveying and mapping. And obviously, OpenStreetMap is one way to digitize the existing mapping industry. And these are the different thematic area where the services that we provide directly or indirectly like impact. So whether it's map literacy or geointelligence or e-governance, NAXA has been developing a different kind of applications, be it map application or any other kind of like technological solutions. So currently NAXA is a team of around 40 young people. So it might be surprising to hear, but we all are below 30 youths in the company. So the journey started with three of us at before 7 years, and now we are a group of around like 40 people. So moving into the presentation content for today. So today we have two guest speakers with us. So Biplav Rakhal sir from WFP will share with us a bit about how the local trails and infrastructure mapping for emergency preparedness and response started in Nepal. And we also have another guest speaker, Mr. Marek, who has a very interesting experience and a story to share and inspire all of us here in the participants. So I'd like to request Biplav Rakhal sir to briefly explain about how this trail mapping concept started, what WFP has envisioned, and what is the plan forward. So Biplav Rakhal sir, if you could briefly explain about how this entire thing started, then.
Thank you, Uttamji. Thanks to NAXA team. Thanks to the volunteers and the youth mapper who are collaborating in this Mapathon activities since last 3 weeks. WFP Nepal is glad and high and gratitude to NAXA Private Limited for organizing and managing this event so smoothly. Uh, Going back to the questions and the query about the Uttam, that how this trail mapping project or the concept of trail mapping started in Nepal. I would like to go back a little bit back to 2015 when Nepal was hard hit by the earthquake and almost we have lost 8,000 to near about 8,000 lives. So in that scenario, when there were lots of humanitarian responder from around the world arrived Kathmandu and started their operation, uh, we faced, and including WFP, have faced lots of challenges in planning and distribution of relief materials because of the lack of data, and the lack of data is about the data on trails, data on the location, as well as the road activities or accessibilities. So due to the lack of data in spatial data in terms of these road trails and location in an open access, we were in trouble. And later on, Kathmandu Living Lab has started the initiation of voluntary mapping in OpenStreetMap platform, and WFP Nepal have used that OpenStreetMap database to produce topographic base map to assist the responder and to assist the logistic personnel from the logistic cluster, as well as from the personnel from the another cluster, to make a better plan and to see where the to see and to know from where the demands are coming and where they need to supply their relief materials, and where those particular village or the vulnerable communities are located, and how can we reach to them via road link. So that was the initial demand, and WFP at that time um, has uh, took the help of some of the mountaineers, as well as a company which is named as Phenom, and that team of mountaineers that company has went to the hardly hit remote districts of Nepal and remote villages, and they surveyed the accessibility, and they surveyed the trails, main trails, and major access, and they come back with the information that, oh, okay, these are the villages which can be accessed through this trail, and there are the certain location where the earthquake has blocked the trail, or the landslide has landslide triggers, but earthquake has blocked the trail, or something like that. So those information and that survey from the ground was vital for all of us to prepare a response plan, and we also came to know that yes, there is a high demand of data, and the data is not well prepared throughout the Nepal. And then in 2017 we started a study called National Level Gap Analysis Study, in order to understand where there is a gap of spatial data in the open access platform, that is OpenStreetMap, and where are the districts where most vulnerable population are located or situated, and what are the criteria, what are the indicators that can be used to measure the vulnerability. So therefore we went through the secondary database, and we went through the available database that are available with us in Nepal, and we refer the road and trail network available at our end. We also refer the nutrition NESCAP data, stunting and human development index, as well as the NAPA information from the past 2010 report, as well as the Durham University uh, earthquake hazard and risk information. So using all these indicators, we have come up with uh, a map or indicator which can show us where there is a gap of data and where we need to focus to prepare or to fill the data gap. And that report gives us the name of 11 districts which were prioritized for trail mapping. And out of 11 districts, there were 5 districts in far western region and 6 districts in mid-western region, which is now in Karnali province, and far district is in Sudur Paschim province. We started a pilot project from Jumla in Karnali province, and then we expanded that project to Humla and Mugu last year. And this year we are going to 4 districts, that is in Dolpa and Kalikot in Karnali, and Bajhang and Bajura in Sudur Paschim, in which NAXA Private Limited, through competitive bidding process, has won the project, and they have been awarded to go for Bajhang and Bajura trail mapping, and the other company has been awarded for the other 2 districts in Karnali province. So in this particular project, what we are doing, that we are not only filling the data gap in OpenStreetMap, but we are also going to the ground. We are surveying 500-kilometer trails on the ground. We are collecting the community assets which falls along the line of those 500-kilometer trails. We are also collecting the access constraint. We are also collecting the hazard data, and we are coming up with a compiled report in the form of map as well as in the form of table to assist the government of Nepal and the local government. These are the trails that are identified as major access trail or the major supply routes, in which we will be depending on the next emergency operation or emergency relief operation. And these trail need to be kept open. These trail need to be kept working in function. And these are the records and the fact we have received from the field visit. So in this way, this particular project is designed, and in this particular project, we are going through 3 steps. That is, first is remote mapping and Mapathon, which is happening now. The second step is training and capacity building of the communities, which I think NAXA will be elaborate on it. And third step is the collection of field information from those identified major supply routes. And on the 5th stage, NAXA will deliver WFP, the geodatabase, the geotech images, also the field database in OS and OpenStreetMap, and in this way it will go on. And I think this much is enough for now. Over to you, Uttamji.
Thank you so much, Biplab sir from WFP Nepal, to explain how this project started. So as you mentioned, we are currently in the remote mapping phase, and we have a team of more than 50 young mappers and young mapping enthusiasts who have been doing the remote mapping for the last 4 weeks. So now I would like to share a bit about what we did back in 2019 at Humla. So NAXA was selected as a technical partner back in 2019 to map the Humla district. So there were 5 of us from NAXA. We went to Humla and we stayed there for almost 1 month. So what we did was first we provided a training on how to collect geodata using devices like GPS and mobile phone, So we trained around 25 local people, and out of those 25 local people, we selected 10 people, and those 10 people were divided into 5 groups. So each group had 2 people from the local community and 1 people from our company. So altogether we had 5 groups, and these 5 groups then worked for a total of 69 days. So I was there at Humla, and I worked for around 10 or 12 days collecting the data of major trails and community infrastructures. And though in our terms of reference, it was mentioned that we had to map only 500 kilometer, but when we continued mapping, it was not only 500, but we mapped almost 674.7 kilometer. And the interesting thing was when we started mapping, and the electricity in the area was shut down. So they had to shut down the hydropower for some repair and maintenance purpose. So Humla is already a very remote area, and staying for a month in Humla without electricity was a very big challenge for us. Obviously, the project was full of adventure, but also it was very challenging because of logistics and so many other issues. But then the result was very interesting. This was the map of Humla before we did the mapping. So this map, it shows the data layers from different agencies, including the Department of Survey as well as OSM and other data sources. And this is the map of Humla after the trail mapping. So as you can see, a lot of community infrastructures point have been added. And there is also a video about the work. So you can go to YouTube and search Humla trail mapping. So we have made a 5-minute video that explains how the entire project was done, and also the different phases that were involved during the mapping process. So this is all about the Humla mapping project that we did back in 2019. So in 2020, we have got this opportunity to map Bajhang and Bajura. And this time we have learned so many things from our past experience of Humla. So this time what we are doing is we are trying to interact with the OSM community of Nepal. So we are sharing our work on a regular basis through our social media as well. And so far we have received a very interesting response from the community. So we have more than 50 mappers actively contributing. And this guest lecture series, it is not just a part of the Humla or Bajhang Bajura mapping program, but this guest lecture series will be continued, and we'll be inviting many speakers from geospatial background, because we want to develop this map literacy knowledge among the interested participants as well. So before inviting our speaker for today, I would like to request if my dear and respected Ganesh Bhatta sir is still here with us. I would like to request Ganesh sir to share a few inspiring words, as you always do, to motivate our young team of mappers. So Ganesh sir, if you are still there, could you please share some inspiring words to motivate our young mappers?
Thank you so much, Uttam. First of all, let me thank you very much for your kindness to let me know that this kind of important event is going to happen. So when I received a message in Messenger last evening, so I was so happy, and I was in rush, to catch the session in time, because I traveled from Kathmandu, and so I was a bit late while I left the home. But fortunately, you are just in the beginning of the session, and so I'm enjoying all the whatever the presentation have been made until now. So I thank you very much for, I'm always happy to see you guys making some innovation in our professional areas, and I always feel happy that I'm seeing around 60 people are enjoying this session, and we have a larger community of the geospatial domain, and so many youngsters are quite enthusiastically engaged and involved in this domain. So organizing this kind of guest lecture series is a very good initiative from your side to bring into your kind of information. We also from Land Management Training Center, we have also started to organize every Friday guest lecture series, but initially this is meant only for the instructor of the training faculty of this training center, and later on we wish to expand it for all the professionals once we have all the infrastructure made available. So I'm very much happy that your country. I was not aware of the Humla and trek mapping. So it seems a great job we have already done. And so this is where we have to learn, and we have to see the challenges. We have to look at the remote areas of our country where the people are. You said you had to stay there for 1 month without electricity. So you should understand, you should feel that the majority of Nepali people are still in the same situation. And so we have to bring them in the arena of the development. We have to the big digital divide, the big development divide, and there are many gaps in between the different societies in our country. And so whatever you guys are doing through this mapping innovation, so always is inspiring. And I wish you all the good luck for you, the entire team of your 40 people you said you are contributing. And I always get so proud of you guys, whatever you are doing, wherever you are, and whenever I talk to some people outside our geomatics community, so they talk of you guys, so how they have very good impression on or this profession. And so I wish you keep continuing this. Let's expect more and more innovation in this area. And thank you so much. All the best, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Ganesh sir, for your energetic
success of this event.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Ganesh sir, for always adding energy to whatever initiative we try to introduce in the geospatial domain. And thank you for always, whenever all of my requests till date to you have been on the last moment. And thank you so much for giving your time despite my last moment request. So I will try my best to, send you invitations sometime from next session. Before moving forward, there is another story that I remembered, and I find it very interesting. I think it would be very interesting for other participants to hear as well. So when we were mapping at Humla, there was a member from our team, Sweta. So Sweta was one of the training instructor among the 5 training instructor from NAXA. So when she was doing the mapping activity in one of the remote village, her mom from Kathmandu could not communicate with her for around 7 days. And on the 8th day, her mom flew to Simikot from Kathmandu just only to talk to her. So this is the situation of our remotest communities. So you cannot even communicate with people properly whenever you are working in the field. And I realized that if these vulnerable population and if these vulnerable communities are not put into map, then there will be no existence and no knowledge about the whereabouts of these communities. So I personally find this local trail and infrastructure mapping program by WFP very interesting, not only because it is a mapping initiative, but I take this as an initiative to put those vulnerable and remotest communities somewhere in the digital, somewhere in a digital interface. So we are very excited about this project. And without further delay, I would like to move to our next session. So we have with us today Mr. Marek. So Mr. Marek is an internationally recognized GIS and 3D modeling expert. He is the co-founder and leader of OSM Chapter Poland, and he has over 34 worldwide patents in the area of navigation, data collection, and geodata. And the interesting thing is, even from the photo, I think you can make a guess that Marek loves Nepal very much. And last evening, I was chatting with him on Facebook, and I asked him Marek, what is the first thing and what is the most important thing that you like about Nepal? And his answer was the Nepali people. So thank you, Marek, so much for loving Nepal and Nepali people. And another interesting fact is Marek is married to a Nepali woman. So Marek is our Nepali Jwai Sahab, and we respect him a lot. And without further delay, I would like to invite Marek for his lightning talk. Vanessa, do you want to say something?
No, he's not Jwai Sahab, he's Vinaju. We are younger than him, so he's Vinaju.
Yeah, Vinaju and Jwai Sahab both. And also Marek is a very good Nepali speaker. So we are expecting a presentation on Nepali, but let's see. So Marek, thank you so much for your time, and the floor, and over to you, Marek.
प्रिय मित्रहरू मेरो नमस्कार मलाई आमन्त्रित गरेको म धन्यवाद छ but मेरो नेपाली राम्रो छैन, so I switch to English. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I start with my presentation. So, Uttam, please quit your presentation, Danebad, so I can.
Yeah, here you go, Marek. You can open your slide. Could you please try to project yours? Marek?
Yes. Wait. So, I wrote in this presentation something like realization of dreams, which sounds alicoti strange, but
yeah, Marek, could you please do slideshow? Yeah, we can see your screen, but if you go full screen, that would be
you can see
better.
Yes. I tried, but clicking on that, something unexpected happens. Let's. Now you have it?
Yes, we have it. Yes, Marek, we can see your full screen.
So, धन्यवाद. So, मेरा मित्रहरू, I am from Poland, not from Germany. I come to Germany end of 80s, and I was like a Pakistani Muslim looking after job in Bharat. Because Germany and Poland, at this time, there was no big friendship. So I started to collect paisa for my study by selling newspapers. And then I got a place at the university. And I was thinking, Germans are so one technical nation. They are so smart. And I am from one full country. I have to learn a lot. From all money I had, I bought one pretty powerful computer, one used one, and start to learn software. After a pretty short time, I was better than my German colleagues, and I started to make lectures at my university. And I made one first computer lab because I started one project. I said to my friends, to another students, it is possible to make one computer model of world city with around 2 million citizens. And this was one 3D model. And I was one young student, but invited by officials, invited by a chief of German Ordnance Survey. And he said, after I leave this room, I'm crazy. It is impossible. After 1 year, he apologized by me. And directly after his Mero study, I was the scientific consultant of German government. And they started to make such models. So I can tell you, when you believe on one idea, when you fight for this idea, wonder can happen. And you can realize your dreams, but you have to fight very hard. I use the term fight or war because Nepal is at war. This is Germany after Second World War. A woman rebuilt the country because the most of men was dead during the war. Hamro Nepal is like after war as well. So we have to fight for better future. We had a climate change, and the better maps you know everything. It's better prediction, it's better protection for everybody. So it is crucial for us. When we look at the history of the GIS systems, this was a time of pioneers, time of authorities, of companies. Then the MAC opens, and from 2005 we have open source GIS, and this is really fantastic for Nepal because we should think how to make modern GIS having less paisa. We should know GIS is a very, very, very big term. I can make lectures about GIS for some weeks. So we should pick up what is necessary for us and do what is the best at the moment. But we should have dreams. We should have a big dream. When we think about land administration and why GIS is so important, the land is a production factor, but we never get more land. This cannot be increased, and the land is less and less. The government can make good tax acquisition, and of course the land administration is collecting, storing, disseminating of information. Who is the owner, how is the value, and how it is used in public sector. Of course, cadastre is an essential component for the country administration because you can ensure the property, you can prove the claim on land, you can document it, you have this describe it, and who is interested, of course, owners, of course, government, but very important is also economy. The goals of modern systems is not only ownership structure, it's also border security, credit protection, property building tax, land reform, land development, land market, regional planning, special planning, environmental monitoring, land statistics, and so on. Look, this is how it works in Europe. We have mostly three ministries: justice, finance, and economy. And the survey department and offices are the part of Ministry of Economy, and they make cadastral management. And you can see this rat one in below, surveyors. We are here, but close with survey department, and the customers can benefit from this system. So we have probably in Nepal to discuss about this big picture, about the benefits of modern cadastral and GIS systems. When we look how it was in the history in Europe, it began around 300 years before as a property register. Then it was to ensure the property. Later, it was the city planning, special planning. Then the protection of environment, sustainability, and now we are in the time of infotainment systems. And what will be the future, we don't know. So looking at these functions in Europe, in the feudalism time, we have the fiscal cadastre. You pay taxes. Then it is ensuring of property. Then it is a planning, and then it is multi-purpose. We have the opportunity for Nepal to make a big jump forward using modern technologies. How to make it? We need educated people. They can work for administration, they can work for business. The county administration shall generate and sell geodata and ensure in that way their paisa for own personnel and for their purposes. But the business can benefit from modern geodata, and they can also support universities and teaching. We have a lot of use cases when we have data. When we have one example from yesterday evening, as you know, Nepal is a very special country with all climate zones. We have tropical, subtropical, and then we have mountains. And the country is very high. It is very good for production of medical herbs because you have in mountains you have more UVB light frequencies, and crops with more UVB light produce more medical substances than in other countries. But you should have a very good 3D map, and you have to analyze the light direction of the land areas or the agriculture areas to decide which area is good for what. This is only one small example. There are 4 big areas for GIS solutions: telecommunication, supply and disposal energy raw materials, financial area, and the public administration. But we have problems in Nepal. We don't have money. We don't have enough educated people. Number 3, when the Germans, I learned in Germany, when they start to do something, 20% of the time is planning. What should we do? How should we do? Who is responsible for what? And then 80% is the realization. And we have the problem of corruption. What to do when we don't have enough paisa? The most of costs for GIS systems is the software, not the hardware. The software is very expensive. You have to buy a lot of S3 licenses. You have to update them. You have to pay for every step. They are very smart in removing paisa from you. One example: S3 Windows Server. This is already some years before. One license, $21,000 US, or 11,000. Windows Server licenses, 6,000, 12,000. We need some thousand of licenses for all Nepal for make a good country administration, many thousands. We don't have paisa for that. So I deeply suggest to use everything with open source. I am living in Germany, in Bavaria. Bavaria is the richest country or richest land in Germany. They have BMW, they have Mercedes, they have leading companies. They are very rich. What they do, they threw out all Windows solutions. The government is working only with Linux. Why? Because first is saving money. Second is they never know who is spying you when you use Windows. And then they use open GIS systems. We have to learn it. It is one idea how it is possible to make all process from beginning to end using only open source solutions. So you can say this Windows Server is not necessary. We can do it in Ubuntu. This is a topic of another lecture, so I switch it now. You should know it is possible. We should really discuss with all government institutions to change from S3 to PostGIS. We can save in years many million of dollars. The problem of corruption. The problem of corruption is always the problem of poverty, but on the other hand, the corruption is blocking the development of the country. As you know, geospatial data help to reduce corruption because we have exactly properties, we have exactly information. So as more information we have, as less cheating is possible. It helps to develop country. This is, there are some links, some useful links, but you have this presentation, you can read it about these open source solutions and how to do it. Again, it is another topic. First, we should start with small steps. And the first important step in my eyes is not only collecting streets and ways, which is the first step, but it is easy done. But the second step is to give attributes to the streets. And the most important attribute is the name. Developing countries have 80 to 90% of streets without names, but this is crucial. Historic development was some appearance like long street, straight street, direction, Bharatpur street, or whatever type of activity, social position, origin, or the function, vegetable market street. And then it was the same in Europe. Beginning of cadastral systems in Europe is over 300 years before, and they had the same situation. They had cities with only 10% of names. So there was the concept, okay, we sit down together and make a list with around 10,000 names. Names of historic people, famous persons, actors, researchers, so respectable persons. Second, we make a list of geography names we like to use. There are also colors. There are also religious or traditionalist names, botanical names. And then having this list with many thousands of possibilities, we sit together with the municipality. It is one afternoon or one day. And then we say, okay, this part of the city get the color names. Another part of the city get the geography names from Nepal. One another city get the geography names from America or from Africa. One another part of the city get the religious names. Another part get the botanical names. This is one day and you have one decision for one city. And then making every search. Somebody is calling emergency. Somebody should distribute some goods. You have one address. In my opinion, it is the first step we should communicate with municipalities. We should show them. Maybe we can make some presentations. Maybe we should take one city and add some names. But it is easy done. It is not the real problem when you have this approach, and you should just communicate why it is so important. Every taxi driver would know now how to achieve one goal, how to achieve one address. Every people they are not from this street, from this city, would know that. It is something we should know, we should do. I show you one map of Ilam. Probably a lot of you have seen it. Ilam is one area in Nepal I started to make forests of Ilam alone, and then with one friend. Imagine, two guys, they know what to do. They are able to make such GIS map. You have collected, I think, 95% of forests and also of agriculture land uses. How it is possible somebody is so fast? It is possible because we know how to do it. We are working with JOSM, and the common approach to make maps, to paint maps,
Marek, are you there?
so
Hello, Marek, we can't hear you properly. Looks like connection problem on your side.
now, yes, I saw it. I saw it. So how long was it?
It was like,
5
no,
minutes?
it was for like 30, 45 seconds. So if you could just repeat last
Okay.
1 minute, that
Okay,
would be fine.
So how it is possible two people? This is amazing. It is not. We know how to do it. We are using some normally when you draw streets in OpenStreetMap, you are using click by click by click by click, every point after point after point after point, and you get a street. And the same with painting of areas. This is not fast enough for collecting a forest. You are using one JOSM plugin, Fast Draw. You know probably how to install new plugins in JOSM, and then it is just a painting of line. You don't paint a points. You paint like with pencils one line, and the software is changing this free-made line to one polyline. You are unbelievable fast, maybe 20 times faster than drawing with clicking points. So it is the first thing. The second thing is, okay, I have one outline. Let's make this picture bigger. We draw such outline. The software is changing this to the polyline, and then you give an attribute forest. And the second thing is, okay, that's nice, but when I have to paint here in the neighborship some another land use, I have to click the point over point over point over point over point again. No, you don't need. You have one another plugin for connection of of outlines, how to find such helpful plugins. When you forgot how is the name, you just click of the list, JSON plugins. The term fast, you can keep in mind fast, yeah? So it is fast draw. And the second is the connection of outlines, yeah? So I look under C, CAD tools, developed by my students, by the way. CCCCC conflation, continuous contour merge. When I have to connect two areas together, I just click for 4 points, 2 points in one area and 2 points in another area. And then I say merge it. And then you can decide match left to right or right to left. After making this decision, you have such outline. So when I have painted forest, let's see, this blue is forest, and it is very exactly. Then I draw this area of land use farmland, like rectangle only, and then I put these two X points, the connection points on the end corners of this rectangle, and make drag and drop on this another surface, and I have it connected. So making of such maps is unbelievable easy when you know how to do. And I offer you another session only for this purpose, because now we don't have enough time for this. Because second thing is to learn how to interpret what I see. You know, we learn how to recognize streets. We know how to recognize buildings. We know how to recognize forests, but even with forests, we have some doubts. Let's look somewhere in this map, somewhere. What is forest and what is not more forest? Because we have also another categories which can cover it. It's look pretty difficult. So, what should I do with this area? Is it forest? It is not more forest. It is the question of definition. So this I told about this 20% of time before we work, and this 20% of time is for setting rules of data collection. The mega setting of rules how to map something, because what is this? It is this area here, for instance, still farmland, or is it, for instance, so-called scrub? There is also one category. What is the difference in Nepal between grass and grassland? We should decide one time for us what to do, how to map it, and then communicate it to everybody, because the learning of tools, how to make it, and then how to collect this data is very easy. And you can do amazing things. One great thing for make a help of government cadastre is to paint cadastre-like, to collect data similar to the European cadastre. I did it in Sichuan. European cadastral maps have some hundreds of layers, around 400. Only for buildings, there are many layers because they make a differences between different use cases. Religious building is not the common building, for instance. They have different layers. They have layers for everything. And this is a second thing we should discuss for Nepal. We can do it. We really can do it. Maybe somebody could say you are crazy, but it is the same like I hear from the German government making these GIS maps. Not, we are not. when you think big, you can get a big results. When you think small, you get small results. When we think big together and make such huge definition and introduce it, we go forever in the history of Nepal. We do a great thing for Hamra Matribhumi. Look, this is one cadastre-like map. How I was able to recognize these borders of cadastre, having no cadastre background. This is very easy because the farmers in Nepal have one security system for them, and they mark the borders. The borders of land use are very, very good visible in most of cases. So I use this for making, you see, they are another colors because the farmers have another crops, and in that way I can collect this information. Maybe this is not one-to-one identical with cadastral map. I am sure it is not identical because, for instance, here is the way, and probably this way is the midline of cadastral property. So this farmer on the left side and the farmer on the right side would be a neighbors in cadastral system. Maybe yes, maybe not. We don't know. But when we make such background, we can import such data as a background to the cadastral systems. We can correct it and we can enhance it. And when we once decide how we paint, we can start a lavine in Nepal. Believe me, only 2 persons are able to make wall ilam with all buildings, with all ways. How many people are here? Over 60. Maybe there are 150 people. Maybe we can teach another people. Maybe we are some hundreds. Let be lavine. From small stone, which is in moving, we can make a big changes. Nepal is so beautiful country, and you are so brave nation. You are only one country never attacked by enemies. I mean, no. You are attacked, of course, but you are never dependent. Even your neighbor Bhutan was under British protection, because I tried to find countries they are independent forever, and I found only one country, and this is Nepal. So you are strong. You have the brave soldiers. You are very eager. You can fight. Let's sit together. Let's think together, and make some decisions, and then we can start. I share with you all my knowledge. I share with you all my power I have. We start to change the country. So this is a short introduction. Thank you for your time. And then we met in the next workshops for learning of these JSON plugins, and then we can discuss technical solutions. But also, last word, you can always call me. You can always use Mero Facebook, Danebat for hearing, Danebat for invitation. So if you have questions, please go on.
Thank you so much, Marek, for your interesting presentation and also highlighting some of the very important things that we need to consider. So there are two major things that I like to highlight as a key takeaway from your presentation from my perspective. So one is the example of the street naming practice and that you shared with us. So obviously we need proper street naming and street numbering for all streets across the country. And there have been some initiative from Ministry of Urban Development as well in Nepal. But one thing that is lacking is in terms of standard, all the municipalities and the local government, they are working separately. So yes, we need a common standard so that we can name all the major streets in Nepal, so that not only in disaster management, it becomes useful for a number of other utility services as well. And the second thing, the key takeaway from your ELAM mapping project, yes, and that is the example of one person work that you shared with us. So here we are a community of 60 plus people, and outside there are also so many other active mappers who have been contributing on a daily basis. So definitely we need to map together, and also most importantly, we need to consider that only mapping data set is not enough, but accurately mapping with proper standard is what is required at the moment. Because most often time when we use OpenStreetMap in our work, OpenStreetMap data, we have to spend many hours refining the data set. So that is the biggest problem for majority of OpenStreet data set in Nepal. So together as a OSM community, we need to also be serious about and the mapping standard. So all of us definitely look forward to hearing your and attending your next presentation, where we will focus on the technical aspects of properly mapping. So with these remarks, I would like to invite any questions or any queries or comments or any remarks from the participants. So please feel free to unmute yourself and then ask Marek any question that you have, participants.
I see here. I see here many questions already. I try to answer step by step. One question is about how long it would take to make World Nepal. Let's consider we are 60 people, and we work like with Mero friend. I think after 1 year we have Nepal covered with forests. Because it is like a painting of beautiful mandala. As much detail you make mandala, as longer time. But Mero experience is you Nepali are really amazing. I can still remember to be in Nepal with Mero students from the university, and there was one very small, very thin Sherpa, and this Sherpa was our guide in mountains. German students start to be very fast, going the mountains because they knew the way. But at the evening, they sit crying somewhere on the way, and this Sherpa was drinking chia at the gar. He made one very small steps, every small step, but he never stopped. And the same we make with forests. So don't worry about that. Now we have the lockdown time. It's very bad for everybody of us. We have also lockdown here, but on the other side we have time, and time is paisa. You have to study, you have to work, you have to do things, but you can make every evening at home some piece of land and do it. You should just know how to do it, and this can be learned.
There is another question, Marek, on the chat box.
Yes, we don't know which road has been constructed in which decade. Is there any solution already exists in our OpenStreetMap community? Yes, of course. There is one attribute which describes the beginning of some object. So it is a start date. You just look in OpenStreetMap wiki after this term. So you can add it as attribute. So you can know it's an old street. It's already 20 years old. There are also attributes for surface quality, for the street quality, for the quality of forest ways, and these are all things we can recognize from the top. And these are also things they can be exported in the government database as attributes. And this is one concept we should discuss with government structures, because we can do a lot for them, but we are two different worlds. We should come together because the country have no enough capacities and money, but they have our hands. And the smartest of us should make a bridge between these two worlds. And we will do.
Do we have any other questions from the participants? There is one other question from us is, so is there a way we can see past maps in OpenStreetMap, like the historical maps of an area?
There are so many different projects they work with. They work with maps. We should also learn to make our own dedicated maps. It is not so complicated. There is an open railway map, open bicycle map, open horse map. There are crazy things you can do with OpenStreetMap. Yes, of course we can do.
Okay. Can we connect on Facebook? Marek,
Yeah.
Participants are asking if they can connect with you on Facebook.
Of course, warmest invited. Uttam, you can share my Mero Facebook address, and you can ask me, and I help every of you.
Okay, we can share that. Ashish, could you please share that link? Marek, there is another question.
Sorry, can Nepal map infrastructure jump from a bureaucracy-driven infrastructure to infotainment-driven? Of course. And you know why it will work? It will work because this change can generate paisa for government. And we should just show them they can earn money when they change it. And they will be very, very fast with changing. Because, GIS solutions are very, very new. Still in Germany, they are new. And there is a lack of knowledge. There are a lack of, the people don't know what everything is possible when you have a modern system. And this system could enhance the GDP of Nepal with around 2%, 2 to 3%, according to the analysis of European community. They are scientific research. Imagine the country is faster and richer with 2 or 3%. This is a lot. We just should discuss with our governments. There are some people, they don't know what they do. They are just because they are members of one party, but they are also a lot of very smart people. So don't worry, we should discuss with these very smart people, and they convince another one.
Okay, so Marek, we are almost towards the end of the session because it's almost 11:15. So if you have, if participants have any other questions, please feel free to ask Marek over email. And also, if you have any other OSM related technical question, you can ask, you can send it to us. And we have been doing this OSM Mapathon since last month. So if any one of you is interested, please send an email to us. And we'll definitely keep in touch to solve all those technical questions. I see one last question, Marek, and after that, I will pass it over to Neelam for wrapping up the session for today. There is a last question. If you could answer that, then we will end the session.
Is there any way to combat hunger and poverty through open mapping? Yes, of course. And this is easy to understand because because first you need to have one huge concept what to make with farmers. And the answer is Nepal is using very, very less pesticides comparing another countries. There is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka as a country prohibited use of pesticides. And now the food from Sri Lanka is 4 times more expensive than from Bharat because it's better quality. So the idea for Nepal could be to produce ecologic canna and sell it abroad with very, very high prices. You have fantastic herbs. You have fantastic medical products in Nepal. You can analyze using GIS systems which kind of crops could be used in which area, what to suggest, what to offer farmers, and say them, look, Ganza. Ganza was banned for a long time, but nowadays Ganza is used around the world because the scientists find out some ingredients of Ganza. They are not narcotic, and they are very, very helpful for treating of a lot of diseases. And 10 grams of Ganza extract costs $50. 10 grams. And you can produce this in Nepal because it's the origin country for Ganza. So, just one example.
Thank you, Marek. Since you gave the example of Ganza, I just want to add something that is very relevant. So, Kathmandu University, there is a team which is working on a cannabis research center in Nepal. So, I think that will be, like very interesting to see in coming days. So now I would like to pass it over to Neelam to wrap up the session. Thank you all for listening. So next time.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so Neelam will end the session. Neelam, please.
Thank you, Uttamji. So since we are towards the end of this session, I would like to thank Marek for your presentation, and we hope all our participants had a very informative session today. We would also like to thank Biplab sir for your insights on